Good afternoon, traders. It is Friday, March 6th, 2015, and the U.S. stock market is closed. And I think there's a lot of traders out there that are so happy the stock market is closed today. It was a pretty amazing day. The Dow Jones Industrial Average plunged below 18,000 and in fact plunged down 278 points, if you could believe that. And just to give you some idea of what's happened here, only 4 days ago we hit all-time record highs in the Dow here and actually penetrated my red line, which at the time I was calling the ceiling. And then it's been sliding ever since with a couple kind of sideways days in here, but today it just totally fell apart and it came down here and found my red line that I thought would be the floor. I was expecting that there'd be some support there. It went right through it and actually closed below that. So at this point I can't say absolutely that this is the end of it. We could see more downside action. But I tell you, I'm not unhappy about today, and this is why. You know, we had about $10,000 in open trade equity on the close yesterday, and we did not get that $10,000 out in closed out trades. We actually got a little more than half of that out, a little over $5,000 in closed out trades. But considering the huge drop in stocks today, I think we're pretty lucky with that. And to combine, to also contributing to the problems, we had one particular stock that was just horrible, and I'm going to show that to you in a minute or so. It cost us almost $6,000 just in one stock, in spite of all that grim selling that was going on today. We managed to close out over $5,000 in closed out trades, and we are carrying negative $4,000 over the weekend in I think about 4 positions. But hey, this isn't bad. Technically we still made money today on a day that the Dow went down 278 points. And I'm going to tell you, this is still a bull market, folks. The depression isn't going to start next week. This market will turn around, and when it does, it's going to scream, and we're going to really make some decent money when that happens. If we can make money when the Dow is doing this, we're going to make big money when it turns around and goes topside, and it will. I will assure you it's going to go topside here. Anyway, I will show you 3 individual stocks that are kind of interesting. This first one is Lululemon Athletica, and this was the one that just absolutely killed us this morning. I mean, we would have had a decent day if it wasn't for this stock. We had this little pop up here yesterday. Don't know what that was, but it got us in long. You know, we weren't profitable in this trade for more than a minute or two, and then it started going against us, and this morning just huge gap down. When we got out of this thing, we were taking close to $6,000 hit in Lululemon Athletica, and it's just amazing to me that we still got out of the day with a little profit after taking a hit like this. We did have some really good trades, and that's why we did make a profit today. This first one I'll show you is in CSIQ, that's Canadian Solar, and we had bought this yesterday on a gap. It had kept going very, very nicely for us. We didn't get out quite as high as where the close was yesterday, but we did get very nice up here. We closed out almost $3,500 in Canadian Solar. So this was just a really fine trade, and it looks, when I'm looking at the chart, I'm glad we're out of it, because I think this thing could definitely drift lower now. We basically got out on a almost a buying climax this morning. So that looks really good. But the real giant one here, the one I just love, we haven't had a trade like this in a long time. This is in Gray Television. I was making jokes on Stock Trits about this being a company that was still dealing with black and white TV. This is not black and white TV. It is a communications company called Gray Television. But this has been a really good stock for us. And we got into this yesterday, 30 minutes into the day, and man, it just kept going. And then we had another run up at the beginning of the day and today. And when we got out of this, we had pulled in over $7,000 in Gray Television. Now I have not seen a $7,000 trade for quite a while, so this was really nice. And to make that kind of money on the day that the Dow sank almost 300 points, I think is just spectacular. And we would have been hurting a lot more on that Lululemon trade if we hadn't had this to counterbalance it. So that was real good. So anyway, even though technically we only made a very small amount of money today, I'm happy. The Dow's way down there. It's going to swing up. We're going to make a ton of money when it does. Hey, you guys enjoy your weekend. I'm going to enjoy mine, and I will see you on Monday.